Welcome back to the channel, guys. Again, I am Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. What we have here in front of us today is a 2002 Yamaha Grizzly 660. This is a referral from a buddy of mine in my networking group. He brought it to me and he said it was his dad's. It's been sitting for about 8 years. He had it running about 6 years ago, a little bit. It was running pretty rough, he said. Before that, of course, it's had 2 years. So he asked me if I would go ahead and go through this thing and just check it all out. So what we're going to do, guys, we already got some stuff here. We got a battery, oil filter. We got diff fluid here. We got coolant. We're going to change the brake fluids in this thing. And then we're going to drain what gas is in here, pull the carburetor off, take a look at that, take a look at the air box, the air cleaner. Pretty much change all the fluids in this thing we can. And since it's been set for so long, and check that carburetor out, make sure this thing fires up and runs great for them. They want to use it on their farm for his grandparents now. So we're going to go ahead and go through this whole entire thing. I'm probably going to break this down into a multi-part video. That way we have a few different things we can look at. That way it's not such a long video, being 35, 45 minutes. We can break it down to like maybe some 12 or 15 minute videos for you guys. All right, guys, really simple here. There's a latch on the back of the seat. Lift it up, pull it out and off. You can see where the battery's supposed to be at. We got a brand new one right here. This is from Stryker. This has got a 1-year warranty, and they also make one that has a 2-year warranty. Pretty good aftermarket battery. I have had no issues with these. The Yuasa is usually what come in here, but these hold up just as good. I've had zero trouble out of these, and like I said, it's got a 1-year warranty. I have a local place here in town where if I have any issues, I just take it back and they hand me a brand new battery. So that's a positive. So let's get this thing out of the box here real quick. It's already pre-filled up. They did that at the battery place. So, and they can also check everything and make sure you have the proper battery that you're going to need for this. As you can see, they even had that piece of foam on the bottom to give it the proper height. So we'll just go ahead and throw this in here real quick. Pretty quick and simple. And then what we're going to do next, guys, we'll check the air filter. And then we're going to drain the gas and make sure, and just see if this thing even fires up. Heck, it might actually just fire up with new gas in it. It may not have to pull the carburetor off, but we're going to find out. So I'm going to put the battery in, and we'll jump on the air cleaner real quick. All right, guys, we got the battery in. As always, you always want to make sure anything secondary you guys have running, anything like winches or anything, goes on after your factory connectors for your starter relay and your grounding. That way it gets the best connection possible. Let's pop this thing off. He is missing a clip over here. I probably have one laying around here somewhere. Here's the air filter. The air filter actually looks really, really clean, really, really nice. So we're not going to bother with that. We'll just slap it back in here. Put the cover back on. Snap it back in place. There was a little bit of dirt on the side of the airbox, but no big deal. Everything's pretty clean in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to move up to the fuel tank and we're going to check it out. He said there has been some gas in here, and well, being old gas like that, we're just going to have to drain it out. That way we know if the thing does fire up and run that we're not going to have any issues. Woo. That is some old gas right there. I'm going to grab my extractor and we'll get this gas sucked out. Well, guys, I figured I'd show you what I have here as far as an extractor goes. Let me turn the camera around and kind of point you down at what I got here. Pretty nice. It's pneumatic, it's air. It works really, really well. So I'll leave a link down in the description for pretty much anything I use in my videos, guys. If I can put a link in the description for you guys, I sure will. I do have some affiliate links I'll leave down there for you guys. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go ahead and throw it on in here, hook it up some air, and let's suck all this gas out. Tank looks like it's about, half full? Yeah, maybe a little less than half full. So I'll just set the extractor up here. And I use this for the brakes. I use it for all types of stuff, guys. It comes with 3 separate hoses and fittings, 4 hoses, fittings to bleed brakes and stuff. Pretty nice setup, works really well for everything. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this thing going. Start getting some gas out of this bad boy and get moving on here. Ooh, you guys see how nasty that stuff looks right now. Ooh, look at that. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but she is nasty. Yeah, you can tell this stuff has been sitting a long time. I won't make you guys watch this whole entire thing. We'll just also get the gas out. We'll throw some new in there and we'll see what happens. Gas out of that thing. Go ahead and throw some new in there. I'm gonna say after looking at that gas, I'm pretty worried about what the carburetor looks like. But we'll see if this thing fires up and runs at all. We're not gonna put a whole ton of gas in here. But I really got a really good feeling we're going to have to rebuild that carburetor. That gas was, I don't think it's stable in it or what, but that gas was dark, 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 dark. So, all right. Set this back off to the side here. Nothing like the fireproof ones here. All right. Gas looks good down there. Throw that on. Let me check the oil on this thing real quick because I haven't done that. So hopefully this doesn't fall over because it's not set up to be this low right now. I'm using it kind of cockeyed. All right, let's check the oil in this thing real quick before we do fire it up. Make sure we got oil in it. We do have oil. It's a little dark, but not a big deal. Like I said, it's been sitting for a long time. Just want to see if it fires up. Fuel is turned on. Let's take you guys off and bring you over here. Turn this key on. So we got power. She's in neutral right now. Choke it. And oh, throttle cable's solid. Forgot he told me that the throttle cable he thought was froze up. All right, so I guess we'll be taking the carburetor out anyways. We'll try to start up again later on. All right, guys, so we're just gonna take the carburetor out of this thing. We're gonna yank this side cover off. It's really no big deal. We'll set it back here to the side. Walk around. Same thing over here. Just pull outwards, and she'll come right up and off. And then we'll have to, we're gonna take the two 10 millimeters out of the sides, and this will lift right up and off also. No big deal. Set the seat back here. I always like to put the bolts, if I can, back in where they belong. That way I don't got a pile of them sitting in my little magnetic trays and stuff. And on this one too, up here in the front, I completely forgot that I'm going to have to take this rack off, which is really simple. We'll have to take the rack off over here on the front. Really simple, we just pop these two off. Take the, I think those are 12 millimeter heads, 8 mil bolts there, and then we got two 10 millimeter head, 8 mil bolts here. Rack comes off. Take out these push pins, This whole piece comes off to access the 2 bolts that hold the front of the gas tank on. And we'll pull that off, give you access to the radiator anyways, because I needed that when we changed the coolant. Any of your other stuff up here, here's your winch relay, all that good stuff. So now we're gonna pop these little guys out here, and that should give us the access we need. Actually, no, right next to it. Take a long extension. All right, that one's loose. And that one's loose. Then we got the 2 on the back of the tank. Right here and right here. And then you'll need a skinny Phillips head to take off the fuel petcock valve, which is really not that hard to do. You just stick a Phillips head in there, and she should just come right off like that. There is just a little Phillips head screw in there. Biggest pain in the butt right now is that I know we have fuel in here, and I may have to pinch the line off to, so I just filled it up with like a half a gallon of gas. So I'm gonna pop the top of the airbox off, pull the breather off, move that out of my way. We have the fuel level sender. Fuel level sender on top. Again, wiggle it, work its way out. Got it. There. Walk back around over here by you guys. And then we'll check on, so let's get a, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna raise up the lift a little bit, give you guys a better view of what I'm looking at. Should be pretty easy to see. So what I'm looking at now, try to get you guys in here as close as I can. There's the petcock, I took that off. There's the fuel line that runs here. Let me just take you guys off the stand so you can get a better view. Petcock, the fuel line runs down to your carburetor there. So we're gonna probably have to pinch that one off. I got some specialty things for fuel lines because I could not get this to spin to turn off. You can see it's on the on position. I might throw a pair of needle nose on that and see if I can get it to actually turn off real quick. But we'll pull that fuel line off, then we'll just slide the gas tank up and back and out, and then we'll have access to the carburetor. All right guys, so that fuel line was so old it actually snapped in half and I went to take it off. But anyways, let's grab the fuel cap here. Let's get it back on. That way we don't spill anything. He may need a new petcock on this thing also because I didn't get hardly any gas to come out even when I pinched it. So let's try to, as you can see, it just broke that fuel line off down here too. It's just really, really, really old, which that's all right. You know, it's not anybody's fault. That's just the way it goes with time. Things get just brittle. I keep catching on something down here. I don't know if it's the, I know it's, let me go on and just break the rest of this fuel line off here. See that? It just snapped in half. What else are we catching on here? Make sure we're not catching on any wires. Really good there. Yep, we are still catching on one wire that you cannot see why, for the life of me, they would run that one wire right there above the fuel line. Okay. Anyways. So voila, there we go with that. So next, got to cut these zip ties and take this plate out here. So now we have full access to the carburetor. We'll take the air box loose, probably pull it up and out, figure out why the throttle cable is stuck like it is. I'm not really sure why it's stuck like it is, but hey, it happens. And that should go right back there. So hopefully the throttle cable is just either up in here or just a little rusted down there because everything hasn't been used in so long. So next step, guys, we're just going to head and pull the airbox out here, and then we'll go to the carburetor. We got to take off the choke cable, and then once we take the choke cable off, I'll pull it back and out once we loosen the intake boot here real quick, and then I'll take the choke cable out. That way we don't put any force or leverage on that thing and break it. Got mud all inside that screw, but that's all right, no big deal. And it should be a 12. I do have my little specialty wrench, I call it, my Stanley wrench that I grounded down, that fits in these tight places like that really easy. So I usually buy some of the cheaper stuff for. Most of my other stuff is snap-on, like I've said in the past. Take the choke cable out and plunger, flip it up here, and now take that out, pull off the overflow tube, and then we'll unscrew those two, or those three I should say, and see why that throttle cable is sticking. Well, at least I made it all the way down. So the butterfly stuck on this thing is the main reason it's not working. All right, guys, so we got some new parts in today. The carburetor, man, I let it soak in everything I had but a chemical bath, and the butterfly is just locked tight. I can barely get the slide to move. I took the top off, put it back together. Even the CV slides stuck really good. So what we ended up doing, to save this guy some money, I just got an aftermarket carburetor. I'm not a huge fan of these things. Sometimes they don't work well. Sometimes the jetting says it's one thing, but it's not. I always take it apart, double check the jet sizes in there compared to the OEM to make sure it's proper. And also I had to give him a new fuel petcock. The other one is locked tight as could be. I got some new fuel line for it. So again, guys, unfortunately, this carburetor is probably going to be good for maybe parts, if that, as long as it has sat. I'll have to split it all up and see what I can find. But like I said, we got him a new one. I'll leave links down in the description for these things. This stuff has come off of Amazon. They're not very expensive, like 50 bucks or something like that for the carburetor, 25 bucks for the petcock. And so we'll get this stuff installed, and then we'll see if this thing will fire up and see what happens, because I know we still have to check on the charging system on this thing. So you guys saw the parts I got in. I'm not going to video record me reinstalling them. It's just reverse order what we took everything out. I won't install the gas tank on it. I'll just set the gas tank on top, put new fuel line and the tray underneath the gas tank. I won't install any of that stuff till I make sure this thing is running properly and I don't have to get back to the carburetor a second time. So I'm going to do all that off the camera. We'll install all that and we'll jump back on it and fire this thing up and see how she runs. All right, we got the carburetor installed, new fuel line, new fuel petcock. Just have the gas tank sitting on there. Everything's hooked up. We got new oil in this thing, coolant, all that. Battery's back in there. So I'm going to sit you guys back here on the stand real quick, and we're going to fire this thing up for the first time to see what it sounds like. All the jets were the same size. They look good to the eye. Like I said in the past, I've run across some of these aftermarket carburetors like that the jets are actually, they say they're the same size, but then you look at them eye to eye, and they're not. So key on. Let's turn some choke on here. Got a new spark plug in this thing also. So we're just go ahead and hit start button and see if thing fires off. Question is, did I turn the gas on? No, I did not. How about that? It helps better if we got gas, right guys? That'll definitely help a lot more if we turn the gas on. All right, let's try it again. Give it a second for the float bowl to fill up. There we go. Whoop. Turn that choke down a little. Actually sounds pretty darn good. I'll check my coolant out. Idle is just a smidge low. I know it's still cold, but we're gonna turn that up a hair. There we go. That sounds really, really good. This, like I said, this thing hasn't ran in 8 years. So we're gonna let it heat cycle a couple times and then I'll put it all back together. Actually, I'm gonna check the charging voltage on this thing real quick while we're standing here. At an idle, so rev it up a hair. If you guys see that, 14.1, 14.03. That's awesome. So I don't have to make a charging video on this one. Check charging system on this one. Oh darn! All right, let's shut this bad boy down for right now. And there you guys go. We're just gonna put this thing back together. Take her for a ride, make sure she runs good, check all the tire pressures out, and I think we can call this one finished. So I'm gonna put her back together off camera, let us heat cycle a few times, check the coolant, double check the oil, and take her for a ride. All right guys, just got back from a test ride on this thing and it runs phenomenal. No issues at all. With runnability wise. So I came back in and I was checking the charging system for a second time just to double check it, just because the customer said they had issues with that. And as soon as it got hot, it stopped charging. So that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to make another one on how to diag the charging system on this 2002 Yamaha Grizzly 660. So I'll be looking for that one to come out after this. Again, guys, thanks for following. Leave me a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment down below what you guys think about my content. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys think about the videos I've been putting out. And again, thanks for checking out the channel and the videos. I am Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. I'll catch you guys on the next one.